What's up, Facebook land? John Bush here, Sovereign BTC, to talk about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, specifically a message for those of you that feel like you missed the boat. I am here to tell you that the sails are yet to be set. We just barely finished building the boat. Actually, the boat is still being made. There is still plenty of opportunity to get involved in the Bitcoin space, plenty of opportunity to participate in changing the way the world exchanges value, builds infrastructure, organizes itself, and plenty of opportunity to make a shitload of money. I should let you know I'm driving right now, and I'm going to do this safely by not looking at the camera unless I'm stopped at a stop sign. So if you post comments, I won't be able to respond to them unless I'm at a stop sign or stoplight, but I will go back and answer all the comments and questions when I reach my destination. So first I want to tell a little personal story about how I felt like I missed the boat. Early on back in Bitcoin's, this must have been like 2010, maybe even 2009, Catherine, the mother of my children, partner in crime for many years, she was trying to encourage me to start Bitcoin mining, back when you could mine Bitcoin on a CPU, on your laptop or your desktop computer. Bitcoin mining is the process of running computers, hardware that verify the transactions that take place on the network, and in exchange for running those machines, which take up energy and time to operate and maintain, you get rewarded Bitcoin. This is how Bitcoin are generated. The first 2 years of Bitcoin's existence, there's 50 Bitcoin created every single block. And this is where many of the Bitcoin multimillionaires, maybe even some billionaires, it's a $100 billion market cap just about, got a lot of their Bitcoin. A bunch of like computer geeks and stuff, before Bitcoin was even valuable, said, let's give this a try. I see maybe this is fun, or I see value in it. Or some people like Roger Ver knew that like this is going to change the world. And I was too busy, and I told Kat, you know what, before I start mining Bitcoin, whatever the heck this weird thing is, I want to understand it better. That was a great lesson for myself, to not bog yourself down because you'll miss out on good opportunities. But I was literally too busy to set up the computer, to set up the program, to research what the value is all about. So I missed that opportunity. Then I recall Bitcoin being around $30 to $40, and I started paying attention, wanting to buy some then, and Bitcoin shot up to like $60. And I told myself and my friends, I didn't have a whole lot of expendable income at the time. I said, oh man, I'm going to wait for Bitcoin to go back down from $60 to $40 before I buy in. I think $40 probably is a more accurate price. This $60 may be a little bit of a bubble. And then sure enough, it shot up 100, 120. Actually, before that $40 time, we were at PorcFest, and this was early on when vendors were accepting Bitcoin, vendors in Agora Alley, I think it was back then, and we were selling breakfast tacos, and each breakfast taco was worth one whole Bitcoin. That's right, we were trading breakfast tacos for Bitcoins, and wow, we got a lot of Bitcoin, but we spent it. So the next time we got some Bitcoin, it may have been, I don't remember when it was from. We received it in payment for something. And this is when Bitcoin was like $100, $120. It had a spike because the Cyprus bank did a haircut. The country of Cyprus shaved off a haircut, also known as theft. They stole 10% of the savings, those people that had more than like $100,000 in the bank. And Bitcoin spiked. And so we had some, and it started running up from like 100 to 200, 300. We cashed some out and used it to pay for our wedding. A good chunk of our wedding was paid with this big spike. Now, of course, it continued. This was in 2013, I guess. It continued to shoot up all the way to like 1,200 or 1,100. And we were kicking ourselves in the butt. Oh my God, we should have held on. But if you do investing and trading, you know that you can't let emotions get in. If you make a gain, that's a plus, even if it's a small gain. There's no way to know when the top is going to be. There's ways to have an educated guess about that, but so that was good for us. Then when Bitcoin was like $1,100, we had some wedding money and we bought a Bitcoin at the peak. We bought high and sold low. But I guess the point that I'm getting at is all throughout this time, ever since I started really seeing the value, I've been telling people to buy Bitcoin when it was $100, buy Bitcoin when it was $500, buy Bitcoin when it was $1,000, buy Bitcoin now that's $2,500, $4,000, and still now that Bitcoin is $5,600, I'm still telling people to buy Bitcoin. And people think, oh man, I missed the opportunity. I'm kicking myself in the butt. Should have bought more. Here's how this works when you take a big picture look of things. If you're saying that now, oh my God, Bitcoin is $6,000, $5,600, it's continuously making all-time highs. Fast forward, imagine, I'm parked now, so if you have any comments, I can respond to them. Fast forward and imagine a year, 2 years, 5 years from now, Bitcoin's like 10,000, 25,000, who knows, maybe even 100,000. That's not an unrealistic proposition. You're going to be like, man, I should have bought in when one Bitcoin was only $6,000. I'm kicking myself in the butt. So here's the deal. A lot of people don't know, you don't have to buy one whole Bitcoin. So people are like, oh, Bitcoin's something for the super wealthy. I can't afford one Bitcoin. What are you talking about? You can buy a tenth of a Bitcoin for $600 or $560. You can buy a fifth of a Bitcoin for $280. You can buy $20 worth of Bitcoin. You can just start accumulating it. So here's a good strategy for people. This isn't investment advice. This is free speech, bitches. Pardon my French. Determine how much you are able to invest in Bitcoin every week or every month. Set that money aside and buy it no matter what the price is. I've seen a research and analysis of if someone did that over the course of a year or two, a couple years ago, and it ended up being a huge win. Just look at what the price of Bitcoin has done in this year alone and last year. So let's say that you have $200 expendable income that you're looking to invest in something. So you set it aside. You can either A, just buy it at the beginning or the end of the month, whenever is convenient for you, no matter what the price is, or you can pay attention, tulip mania, or you can pay attention to what the price is, and when it dips, you buy the dips. Try to get as low as possible using technical analysis. That's a whole nother vein of research, but just try to buy the dips. So say it drops down 5% or even 10%, that's when you spend your $200 to buy. This is a nest for... I'm not going to go there. So Bitcoin isn't like tulip mania in the least bit. This was like I don't even know when it was like 1500 or 1600 or something. People started thinking tulips were all extremely valuable. Didn't really have any real world utility except that they were rare, and it was like a fad or a trend, kind of like Beanie Babies. Bitcoin has extreme utility and it solves many of the world's problems. Tulips didn't solve really very many problems. It was just like something that wealthy people did to feel good about themselves, collector's item. Bitcoin is solving real world problems like the problem with the fiat currencies, centralization, banks, bailouts, and it has practical utility. It's not a fad. It's here to stay. Not even, it still hasn't broken into mainstream consciousness. It's barely starting to puncture. It's not even close to mainstream adoption. Lucas Jewell, it's possible that Bitcoin crashes or collapses. However, I think it is highly more likely that Bitcoin will go up in value than it will go down. Put it another way, I think it's more likely Bitcoin will reach 10,000 than 1,000. Now, maybe there's a correction due because there's prices that have gotten higher, anticipating these forks that are coming up, which is another topic. I don't think it'll correct back down lower than 4,000. And then again, if it crashes, here's the answer to that question. Buy Bitcoin. If it crashes to 4,000, if it crashes to 3,000, that's your opportunity to buy more, because Bitcoin is definitely here to stay. Or when you get jacked like Mt. Gox. Well, this is why I encourage people to do these cryptocurrency consultations. I'm offering $30 an hour. It's usually $50 an hour. But if you sit down with me and I help you set up a wallet, I will ensure that your crypto is not only safe from hackers or from corrupt institutions like Mt. Gox, more importantly, it's safe from yourself and making mistakes. So there's some wallets that I prefer, like Electrum, that has quadruple redundancy and protection that I can help you set up easily. So Bitcoin, there's not a company you can call, there's not a 1-800 number you can call if you lose your Bitcoin, but there are safeguards. And since it is a totally free expression and free institution, an anarchist institution with no central authorities, no one to appeal to if you mess up, there's a lot of personal responsibility involved. And I've been involved in the cryptocurrency space for many, many years now, and so I've screwed up before. I've learned the lessons, and I can ensure that you don't screw yourself up, nor do you get jacked by Mt. Gox. the simple step to that is just to not hold vast amounts of cryptocurrency in a wallet where another entity or institution or individual has access to your private keys. That's it. That's how you avoid that. Very simple to do. Actually, it's kind of complex and complicated, but it can be simplified, and I can help you step it through it for sure. 7,000 Canadian, heck yeah. Central banks can crash Bitcoin in one fell swoop. Why haven't they? And no, they can't. First of all, if like a central bank were to generate a bunch of money, go to try to buy a bunch of Bitcoin, in the process of doing so, the price would shoot way the heck up. A bunch more people would become millionaires. Hopefully they would have the foresight to cash out when it's high, and then if Bitcoin crashes and corrects back down, then you could just buy more Bitcoin than you had before. There's only like 15 or 16 million of them in circulation, so it's actually a pretty difficult prospect to get your hands on a ton of those. So Dan, if that's what you think can happen, I suggest that you do more research in the fundamentals and the foundational elements of Bitcoin, like the supply and the availability to get them. They aren't readily available. There is high liquidity, which makes it a very valuable asset currency because there is liquidity now, $100 billion market cap. Market cap is the number of Bitcoins in circulation times the value, and that's coming up close to 100 billion. It broke through 100 billion. But if there was a ton of money, more than 100 billion, that wanted to buy up all the Bitcoin, then they would have to buy all the Bitcoin in existence. And a lot of people aren't going to sell. That being said, if they are buying and the demand is there greater than the supply, the price is going to go up. A bunch of people are going to make money, sell back for fiat, and then the price will correct down when people sell and make their profit, and then the price will be back down to 6,000 or less, and then more people will buy Bitcoin. See, there's like a built-in check and balance. I'm assuming you only accept Bitcoin as payment. No, I'll take PayPal, US dollars, whatever. Meet up with me. I could probably run credit card transaction as well. I do prefer Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. I can help you get your first Bitcoin. You could pay me with that Bitcoin, but I will take US dollars to help you get into the crypto world. Not a fan of hot wallets. Spend the extra bucks and get a nano ledger. Yeah, there's hardware wallets out there that will help you to keep your cryptocurrency offline entirely. I use KeepKey to store some crypto. If it's a hardware wallet, I prefer hard drive wallet. I prefer Electrum personally, but yeah, Nano Ledger, KeepKey, they're starting to add different cryptocurrencies as well. But I want to reiterate for those of you that are just joining us, Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in general are here to stay. It's not tulip mania. It's not a passing fad. And for those of you that think you missed the boat, oh, I should have got in, I'm beating myself up, I thought about it when Bitcoin was 1,000 and 2,000. It's never too late to get in. Fast forward 2 years and you miss the opportunity again now, and you're likely going to be saying, man, I should have got in when Bitcoin was 6,000, now that it's 12,000. That being said, don't put more money in than you're willing to risk, because it is possible that it does go down all the way to zero. However, I think it is highly unlikely. China's proof central bank government will cause cryptocurrency to skyrocket. Oh yeah, so here's a great prospect for those that think that the banks can manipulate it, governments can shut it down. Bitcoin is anti-fragile. It is resilient. It's got this built-in check and balance whereby when central banks and governments regulate their currency and are overtly interventive, like they were in Cyprus when there was an economic crisis in the Mediterranean country of Cyprus, a whole lot of money there, and in order to bail out the banks, they took a 10% haircut, they called it, aka theft, from everyone that had over $100,000 of their currency in the bank. When that happened, investors, wealthy folk, took notice and said, wow, I feel insecure holding my money in fiat. I'm going to give this Bitcoin currency a try. Money fled into Bitcoin. Every time governments overstep their bounds, which every single government action is an overstep of their bounds, in my opinion, people look at Bitcoin. Every time governments try to regulate Bitcoin, more people look at Bitcoin. And while there are some While there are some do-good citizens that will follow those regulations, Bitcoin, unlike using banks and stuff, you can disobey the government. And thankfully, Bitcoin makes it easier for people to disobey the government, hide their wealth from the government, and maintain financial sovereignty. That is one of the value propositions that cryptocurrency has, especially other cryptocurrencies that are more anonymous. Don't trust in Ponzi schemes like BitConnect. There are a bunch of kind of like multi-level marketing, really driven by affiliate marketing programs where they promise you to recruit people. A lot of them are doing mining and stuff like this. And my analysis of those is I don't think there's enough cryptocurrency to pay out if everyone were to cash out their money at once. Some of them make you put your money in, then you can't pull it out for 6 months or a year. So I personally, like Zach would say, would avoid things like BitConnect, avoid things like the BitClub mining. People are making a whole lot of money on this, but I do think that if everyone were to pull out, the money wouldn't be there. And I don't know if they're genuine Ponzi schemes, but they're Ponzi-like. So if anybody has any questions or comments, go ahead and throw them out, because I'm going to end this video here shortly. I just want to give a pitch. I do cryptocurrency consultations. It's usually $50 an hour. Through the end of this week, through Sunday, I'm offering them for $30 an hour. And in just 1 hour, ideally you'd probably do 2 hours, but in just 1 hour, that's enough time for me to help you set up a Bitcoin wallet, to help you to back it up with triple, quadruple redundancy, to help you encrypt it, to give you all of the knowledge that you need in order to not screw it up and lose your money, and to point you in the right direction where to buy cryptocurrency safely and securely. That's what I offer. I enjoy doing that a great deal. It's awesome to make money doing something I love, but I'm extremely passionate about it, and I would do it all day for free, but I need to balance my time, budget my time, and put food on the table for my kiddos. So if you're interested in learning about cryptocurrency, if you felt anxious, nervous, I don't blame you. It is a new technology. We have yet to get the quote-unquote killer app that makes Bitcoin just as easy to use as PayPal. There can be some convoluted things that take place, but I've been through it all. I've used the wallets, and I know how to help you set up your wallet so it's hacker-proof, and more importantly, it's foolproof. Forex, I do trading on Bittrex. I haven't used Forex, but it's a pretty big mainstream exchange, and there's a whole lot of volume and liquidity there, so I don't have a whole lot of analysis to say on that. Bitcoin is just a step forward for the future of blockchain. John helped me at the store last year, and it was very helpful. Thanks, Alan. Thanks for the vote of confidence. Yeah, Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency, the very first cryptocurrency. It's a currency that uses cryptography to ensure the validity and legitimacy of the transactions on the network. It's decentralized. The true technology underneath Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies is called the blockchain, which is a decentralized, peer-to-peer public ledger. You don't have to trust a central authority like Visa, Wells Fargo, or the United States Department of Treasury in order to ensure that those individuals who say they have a certain amount of Bitcoin have that amount of Bitcoin legitimately. That is done by verifying who sent Bitcoin to one person all the way down the line on the blockchain. So this is the unique value proposition, the innovation that Bitcoin brought to the table. No longer do we have to trust a third party in order to verify transactions and hold up an authentic, integral public ledger. It's done in a decentralized way, and that technology is not only useful for currency. Currency is the first main application of blockchain technology. It can be used for decentralized voting. It can be used for storing public documents. It can be used for anything that is valuable if it's immutable. Immutable means it can't be changed. Although Ethereum blockchain, they changed their blockchain. That's why you had the Ethereum Classic split. So some of these blockchains are true decentralized and immutable because there's like a hack that happens and they're like, well, let's just get everyone their money back. It's no longer immutable. Not cool. I don't know if I'd say that if I lost billions of dollars, though. I'd probably be pretty happy if they changed the blockchain back. But you can file legal documents on the blockchain and they can never be changed. They can be there for history and you can know that it's true, legitimate document. The memory hole kind of shit's actually happening. Like all these big New York Times and stuff, they'll change their stories and they'll change history. And like people will own a piece of property and have a title, a deed to it, and it'll swap over. Wells Fargo, you'll have a balance in your account. They'll take the money, change your balance, manipulate their balance, add money here, bail people out there. With an immutable blockchain, that can't be done. Really cool for journalism too, for all the truthers out there. Airbits. Really simple wallet. You could download one on your phone right now. Be sure you write down your username and password. And there is a way to write down this key, so if you lose your username and password, you can get your currency back with that. But for journalists, you can write a story. Maybe you have like this big expose, WikiLeaks type thing. You can post it to the blockchain. It can get added on a block. Blocks can get added on top of that, and it can never be changed, can never be taken down by the government or Mark Zuckerberg, who likes to censor stuff from Facebook. So You can register your childbirth on the blockchain. You can do all sorts of cool stuff on the blockchain. You can create decentralized autonomous organizations where there's no central board of directors or corporation for the government to regulate, for example. Like the Dash DAO. Dash is a cryptocurrency that I enjoy. They have a decentralized mechanism for voting and making decisions on how to innovate and improve the Dash protocol. And they also have a monthly budget that gets paid out. It used to be like a $50,000 budget. Now Dash is like $300, and the budget's like $500,000 or millions of dollars. It's insane, but that's money that gets spent for marketing, protocol improvements, development, and you literally get paid if you put a proposal forward to do a marketing campaign like we did with Dash Across Adoption, or you want to create a wallet, or you want to partner, you want to put ads on Delta planes on their little telescreens there. It gets approved by voting in a decentralized way, master nodes, people that have a stake in the protocol that have 1,000 Dash or more, and they run this node. And if it gets approved, you get paid by the computer program. The cool thing about that, if you're an anarchist, is computer programs aren't required to file 1099s. That's hardcore. This is a whole new era. You can do business with the freaking computer program. It's like Skynet. This is huge stuff. This is new stuff. This isn't tulip mania. This isn't some passing fad. This is groundbreaking, innovative technology that's extremely useful and valuable for new folks, for anarchists, for cypherpunks, and for the legacy financial institutions as well, which is why I strongly believe that there's going to be an adopt or die phenomenon that takes place, which is already happening now with people like Citigroup and all sorts of banks and central banks studying blockchains, setting up their own blockchains. There is a very unique value proposition, and if the legacy financial institutions still continue to rely on the SWIFT clearinghouse for debits, and if you've ever gone to a bank to do a money transfer, not only do you have to physically drive somewhere, but you have to pay like $20, $10, $20 to send money overseas. It takes like 2 to 3 days to clear through this archaic Federal Reserve central bank clearinghouse. Was it the International Settlement, whatever it is, Bank of International Settlements, and all this hokey old school BS where everyone takes a little piece of the pie as you go. You can send instant value like that. And so these banks are going to adopt the blockchain technology, and Bitcoin being the first blockchain to demonstrate its utility. Even if another institution sets up their own blockchain, it's only going to add legitimacy to Bitcoin. So I think that's even more opportunity for value. Heck yeah, Sabrina. Good for you. Good choice, good thinking. Even central banks are pushing their own blockchain currencies. That's right. It's here to stay. It's not a fad. It's not tulip mania. And for people that are hating on it, I could probably answer most of your objections. And a lot of people hate on Bitcoin because they missed the boat, and they're like all resentful of people that didn't miss the boat. And it's okay. I'm telling you, it's not too late to get in. You don't have to be angry and nasty about it. You too could get cryptocurrency, and it can still 10x or 100x. Me personally, I've had a lot of Bitcoin come in to my wallets and my family, but we've always not had a whole lot of income. So we've like tried to hold on to it, and we want to hold on to it. Let's spend all our US dollars first. And then it's like, man, we got to feed our kids. We got bills to pay. We got debts to pay. So we cash out their cryptocurrency. My kids actually have more crypto than I do. And I used to beat myself up over that, because if I would have kept all of the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency that came in my way, for example, like we did work for Dash and got paid like 1,000 Dash, 600 Dash, when Dash was like $10, and then, or like $8, and then it went up to like 12 and 15. We're like, oh my God, it's glorious. Now it's like $300. We didn't hold on to that stuff. We held on to a tiny little bit of it. But had we held on to it, man, we'd be blown out of control. But that's okay. I'm not beating myself up. My issue was an income issue. So I'm going to make more money. And thankfully, some of our businesses are turning around and stuff. Our creative businesses are turning around. So the goal is to make more money so I can actually have a true, stronger savings and hold some of that savings in cryptocurrency. So now's a good opportunity. Get overtime, work your ass off, start that side gig you've been talking about, put aside $20 a week, $200 a month, whatever you can afford. Get into cryptocurrency. Check me out, comment or private message me, and I'd love to schedule a 1 or 2 hour crypto consultation with you. Usually $50. Do it for $30 an hour now through Sunday, and I will help you to set up a wallet, do it safely and securely, protect it from hackers, more importantly, protect it from yourself, and I'll point you in the right direction to acquire some cryptocurrency and tell you what you can do with it. Also, if you have a business, that's the best way to get cryptocurrency, in my opinion, rather than buying it or mining it, is to offer a good or service in exchange for cryptocurrency. That's the best way to get crypto, in my opinion. So I can help you to set up cryptocurrency for your existing business, whether it's a brick and mortar, a service that you do on the phone or in person, or an online store. That's an area of expertise that I have. So peace and freedom. John Bush, signing out. Crypto, baby. It's never too late. For those of you that think you missed the boat, sails are yet to be set. And we barely just finished building the ship. How do you claim capital gains when trading back to USD? Oh man, that's a bummer. Last question, and then I'm going to run. The IRS treats, so like say you get paid in Bitcoin, that would be considered income. If you buy Bitcoin, it's merely trading your dollars for a different type of currency. It's not a taxable event until you trade that currency back to fiat, or you buy a good or service with that currency. And when you do that, they expect you to pay capital gains. So if you buy Bitcoin at $1,000, Bitcoin goes up to $2,000, you cash it out, you have $2,000 in income, and you have $1,000 in capital gains. Maybe it's $1,000 income. I don't know. I'm not an accountant. I'm not a tax expert, but I do know that the IRS expects it to be counted as income if it comes into you in exchange for goods or services. If you buy it for something, if you buy it with dollars, that's not income. However, when you cash it out, then you are expected to pay capital gains tax on that gain that you made. And there's accounting software and stuff like that, and there's accountants out there. You need to find some that I can point you in their direction. But all that information, when you bought it, you can see what it was worth, and when you sell it, you can see what it's worth. Or you can choose not to let the IRS know. That's up to you. But if you do want to be on the up and up, that's how you do it. Peace and freedom. John Bush, signing out. Check out our cryptocurrency consultations. No matter what, get yourself some Bitcoin. Love you. Thanks everybody for watching.